Hello guys, this is Maria. I'm a fashion product developer and I'm gonna show you how to fill in a tech pack template. So I hope you're doing well. Here I'm attaching, you have in your screen the tech pack template that you have in my own store. So this is just like a quick class on how to do it, and we can go over it because you can do it by yourself if you don't want to, or if you don't have the money to invest on a designer, you can do it by yourself. You can download this template and then just follow my instructions. I'm gonna guide you through all of it, like cover, instruction, construction details, colorways, and all that. So let's get to this. Is the cover page. You will find it here, and as I say here, this shows a clean version of your technical sketches, and it also sets your style info to make sure that you avoid any confusion. So here, if you can see here, this one, my bad. Let me. This design layout, you will see that it has like a small crossing in the middle. So if you click in here and you change whatever information, like let's say you want to, yeah, right, like you first double click, and once you double click, you'll see that it says template. So this is a symbol. And whenever you have a symbol, it's easier for you to change. It's all linked. Like whenever you have a symbol, if you change that little symbol, it will link to the other symbols, so you don't have to change one by one. Like an example here, if you change, let's say you add here test, la 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 la, and then you go out from it, you'll see that it automatically updates in these other sheets because they are all the same symbol. Okay, so if you want to see symbols, you click in here and then you'll find it. You can double click and then you see the isolated version of it. Okay, so I'm just gonna delete it and continue. This is the cover page, and in this page is very good for you to show like the general details of your style. I like putting here, as in this reference, like in this example of a tech pack of a client, reference of the fit that he likes, right? Like this is the reference of a fabric, this is the reference of fit and fabric, and then the manufacturer can see very quickly what you're trying to do. So what I do here is just putting the general details like stand-up collar, drop shoulders, 11 inches pocket with zipper closure on center front, quarter zip, silicone rubber. Even though we're not going into all the details, they already know that all the general requirements that your style has, right? Fabric cuts for fabric cuts. They know there are a lot of cuts there. That the wrist, like the cuffs, are folded. The folded waistband as well. So this is all like has to do with the cover. I don't like putting here the colorways because sometimes you have a lot of colorways, and in here it's just like general. For me, it's enough if you put like just different shades of the gray. That is enough because they already know it's changing material there. Okay, now this is the cover. You can add all these things here, and then you can add your logo as well and all that. So once you do that, we are going to construction details, construction and materials page. So this is it. Once you have this, once you go over the cover, you'll see the materials. And in materials, you'll see here that I have, for example, self-color 1, self-color 2, and self-color 3. This is a very easy way for them to understand, and then you can create like small symbols right here, and then create, okay, self-color 1 is this one, and then you just label it. You link it, okay? Self 1, self 2, and self 3, so they know when exactly to put the different colors. Then in this material sheet, I like putting all the details about the fabric. It's not the same just putting 100% nylon than putting like all the details or adding just a reference of a fabric. You can see here that it's like a crepe fabric, so it's good for you to put it there. The zipper as well, there are 1,000 types of zippers. There are bislon zipper, there is waterproof, you have metal zipper, you have coil zipper. So there are different types of zippers, and if you get to put here the one that you want, that's more probable. It's more probable that they will respect that because we are all more visual, right? So if you see something visual here, it's easier for them to know what you're sourcing. If you don't find this zipper, or if you don't know the name of that zipper, go and find a brand that you like and then take a screenshot of it, and then you can add it. I find it's useful to put the brand label here. And if you don't know how to create the printed care label, just put factory to create or factory to source. And then rubber silicone custom. What I do in this page is just labeling, like this is the zipper and these are the requirements that I want for the zipper. This is the requirements that I want for the elastic, etc. Okay, so let's go back to, this is the yeah, so this is the materials. Then we have, if you want to put construction materials in the same page, it's okay. But if you want to separate it as I did here, it's also fine. Because here I'm only talking about materials. You can see it here, it's materials. And then here I'm adding construction. So I split it. If it's okay, if you want to put it, because sometimes the designs are very simple, so materials and construction can go in the same page. I'm gonna jump into construction, which is in here. Okay, so you'll find here general explanation on how to add it, but with this video and all in this information, you should be set. In construction details, I like, as you can see here, putting single needle top stitch, double needle cover stitch, 2 needle 4 thread overage. For those who don't know, for example, 2 needle 4 thread overage is this particular stitch that it's used to put all the fabrics together, and like 2 different fabric cuts they put together, and it goes in that edge, and it just puts them together. It assembles these fabrics, and it's very used for fleece and all that, for fleece, jersey, like elastic fabrics and like this type of fabrics. So in my opinion, I think I use these symbols. I like it because it's an easy way for me to tell the manufacturer what I want. So it is like, yeah, like drawings. Probably you may not understand, but if you don't understand, you can also use like these symbols right here, like double needle stitch, you know, it is like this one, you know, like whenever you have like these stitches here, you can put DN and they'll be able to understand. So construction page is important because you tell them how, let's put it in this way, how like how exigent you are in the workmanship. It's not the same. I don't know if you have seen like these fleeces that have all the inside is covered, that you don't see any stitch in the inside. That requires more effort, and it has more details in the inside. Like you can feel it's a high quality garment. If you are using this type of stitch, of course you get inside out, you say inside out the garment, and you can see the stitch. It's something easier. It doesn't mean that it's not high quality. It just means that is a different type of construction that is more like basic, but even in the basic you can find good quality and workmanship, so don't worry. That's why it's important. Construction is important. Just right here in the waistband, it's not the same doing the folded waistband than doing a separated waistband and then you put it all together. As you can see here, it's the same fabric just folding inside. Okay, so and then there's another type of garments like this that is 2 separated pieces. This is one piece and this is another piece, and it's assembled with a cover stitch, right? Like a serger. So it just tells the manufacturer how you want to proceed. Okay, so here you can put all the sketches and then just add bar tags, buttonholes, or whatever you're using, and just put it there. Here is about colorways or print specs. As you can see here, this brand has 4 colors, and it's important that you add Pantones in every color. So there's a system in the fashion industry. You will see that there's a system for everything, almost everything. There's numbers, names, and codes for everything. So let me show you. Let's say an example. This is like card, color guide, and there are thousands of Pantones, right? So every color has its own code. It's not valid that you only say it's blue and just leave it like that. They will do whatever they want. If you don't specify which type of blue you want, they will just put whatever they want. So there are different types of Pantones, and you can go into the Pantone website and then just pick the color that you want, and then just add here the type of colors that you want. So as you can see, I've labeled S1, S2, S3 just for them to understand where the self-color fabric goes. Okay. Important, all zippers must match self-fabric color one that corresponds. That means that this zipper has to be gray, this zipper has to be black, zipper has to be blue, this zipper has to be black. Yeah. So it's just for you to have it clear. And also if you have like some details about the print positions, you can add it there. So rubber silicone logo reference, and like I like putting reference for everything. Okay, so here I put here the size, the height, the width, and all that, for them to understand how I want that constructed and where I want that rubber silicone logo to be placed. So 4 inches down, 3 inches to the left. That's important. Otherwise, they will just put it anywhere. Let's go back to labeling. In the labeling page, I like putting just this standard, like every garment, like every garment has like a standard, and everybody puts these labels in the left side. So that's for the label, and then the back label, the main one, the brand label, you can put it in the back, like in the interior, and then you say it's 2 centimeters from next seam and it's centered, and then you can put here the specification. So 4 centimeters times 7 centimeters. I put here a reference for you, like if it's chest logo, again, you need to put the position, and yeah, more details you'll find it here. So it's important information that some designers don't add. Labeling is branding, and that's how your brand shows up. So you have to be specific on placement and type of label that you are using. Now this is bill of materials. Bill of materials, you're gonna find it in the package as well. So you have the package of bill of materials, the Excel sheet of bill of materials for you to fill. And the Excel sheet is something similar to this. Bill of materials is important because the factory is able to understand what exactly you're looking for, and then they'll be able to source that exact thing. Self fabric one, in this case, it's I want this factory to source this. The placement is in self body, and the finish that I want for that fabric is crinkle waterproof. I want it to be 100% nylon and all this weight, like 40 denier, 90 GSM. Every fabric has its own particularities. Like all the fabrics are different in GSM, different. There are garments that are done with acid washing, so that's finishing, and that acid washing you gotta put it there. So construction is wrinkled taffeta. That's because I know the type of construction that my client wants, and I advise him all the time, like you should do this, you should do that. Or if even if they don't really know how to put it, I just communicate. I'm the link between you, your ideas, and the technical name of that. So colorways, it's important. As if you remember, it was navy blue, green, red, and turquoise. So every color has its own specifications for the zipper, right? So for, let's say, this zipper in navy blue, I want to match color fabric one. That's why I put it there. So in this case, it's black, okay? Or blue, my bad, blue, and so on. So the same for the trims, elastic, how big you want that elastic to be, 4 centimeters, 5 centimeters, how big you want the waistband to be. So how strong you want that to be. Is it medium? You want a strong elastic, you want a soft elastic, you put it everything there. Okay. Then the zipper, again, this is the plastic puller. I want a plastic puller. This is the size of the zipper that I want, because there are different types of zipper. There are number 3, number 5, number 8, number 10, etc. So depending on that, you put it there. And the same for labels and hang tags. If you want the brand label to be printed, you just add it there. But in this case, it's printed on nylon tag, and here as well. Okay. So there's a space for this bill of materials. You can send it to your factory in the same take bag, or you can send it in an Excel sheet. It's okay. I just like adding it here so that they have everything in hand. So let's go for graded specs. Graded spec, guys, you don't do, how can I put it? You first need to start doing the sample size, and once that sample size is approved, you can jump into these other sizes. It's nonsense that you just jump into other sizes if you hadn't approved the sample size. So all the time you're doing something, you start with the sample size, and I recommend that you do it in your own size. So when you get the size M, which is my case, I know how it's fitting. So I'm testing my own garments, and I know how big I want it to be, how long, how wide, all that. So once that is done, like, you can start jumping into these other sizes. In this case, as you can see, I talk to my client and I say like, okay, which type of fit are you aiming for? And then I start adding based on his reference or based on his, yeah, on his specs, or on his guideline or measurement guideline, measurement reference and all that. So these right here are called measure points of measurement. Every garment has its own point of measurement. If you want to know how to measure each garment, you can go into my website, and I also created like specific PDFs for the garment, for like specific PDFs with the points of measurement that are adapted to each garment. Like we have points of measure for t-shirts, points of measure for jackets, points of measure for pants, and all that. You can find it there at a very low price. So once you have that, you'll see that everything has a code, and then that code is telling me or telling the manufacturer how I am measuring. Okay, so the 1-3, for example, I'm measuring on the edge. There are some people that measure it from the midway, the waistband, from the middle. So in this case, I'm telling them like, no, I'm measuring it from the edge. Okay, so this is important. It's also important that you tell them that if you're working on inches or centimeters, because China and all the world, like all over the world, we work with centimeters. It's only United States that work with inches. So you put it, if you are working with inches or centimeters, is right here. Then the sample size and then the date. You have all these POM description, and then you can use the code ABC, or you can use the one that I show you here. Okay. Then the next page is about first pro. This is just like for you to understand how it works, but once you get the sample from the manufacturer, you have to do an inspection. So you have to do a quality control, quality inspection, like a sample inspection, and then make sure that the factory did what you were expecting. So in this case, if you wanted the waist to be relaxed and measure 11 and a quarter, once you get the actual sample and then you measure the waist and it's measuring 18, you put it here, 18. And once you do that, the deviance will be like a quarter. Okay, so let me show you here like a reference of this brand. Like this brand already received the sample. So this is what we inspected, and then the first sample was measuring this. So there's a deviance of 1.5. When I create, because I also do quality control, if you don't want me to do it or anybody else to do it, you can add here the revised measurement that you want the factory to follow. That means that if you get 25 instead of 26.5, there's a deviance of 1.5. But after you get the sample, you can realize, okay, neither do I want 26.5, neither do I want 25. So my final decision is 27. Okay, so you put in here 27. So nor your spec, nor your sample, you already know you want it a bit wider. So you put it there, okay? And then here add 2 inches to sample, because they did 25, just add 2 more. Then the same for all these. I recommend that you have technical guidance here, otherwise you won't be able to fill it by yourself. And yeah, so I'm adding in the tech pack a space for you to add this particular first product measurement, first product inspection. This is just a reference for you to check. And yeah, I recommend that if you are doing that, just label everything and add here, store all your pictures and everything. If you don't like, for example, for instance, this white stitching all around the zipper we didn't like, so it's not accepted. We need to change the thread depending on the self fabric color. Okay, so I like storing everything and then linking it for the factory to see what I'm talking about. So I do remarks for workmanship, materials, or in print and color. But that's another topic, because this is already first comments. I don't want to talk too much. I hope this helps you to fill in your tech pack. And yeah, thank you very much. If you have any questions, please, you can schedule a call with me. And yeah, you can find this tech pack template in my website, which is, the link is below. Thank you very much. I'm Mariam. Bye-bye.